G'day guys, Rick here from Perth Bullion Exchange, perthbullion.com.au, and I've just got another bit of an educational video, and we just wanted to discuss premiums a little bit. So I suppose just start out with, we might just, talk about what premiums are. So as you probably all know, there's the spot price, which is more or less in reference to what the miners get pre-refining. As the refiners refine it, that's the spot price reference for mining. Now, from there, obviously, each of the mints, whoever they might be, whether that's Perth Mint, Scottsdale, so on and so forth, they have a cost to then manufacture their products into a saleable product. So if they make kilo bars, obviously there's a cost associated with creating those kilo bars, and the premium varies somewhat with each of those refiners for what they and mints, what they do to the products, how they manufacture them, whether they have new designs each year, whether they're encapsulated, things like that, minted or cast, and there's other costs involved for those guys, which could be being registered with the LBMA, which obviously is a positive for the mint, but it's an additional cost for them that they have to recover, which adds into their premium. And then obviously once the products have been manufactured, they're moved on to a wholesaler who then obviously adds their premium to sell them to retailers such as ourselves. And then we obviously add our premium from a retail standpoint. So the premium is essentially the price over the spot price, which is just accumulation of those costs as the raw product moves down the supply chain. So we pay a premium to our wholesalers pay a premium to the mints, and if we source direct from the mints, obviously that's where we can get it cheaper. And then that gets passed on to the end customer. So when people talk about, this product is $5, $6, $7 over spot, essentially what that is just the premium, and that is the cost of every step in that chain to get it to the end customer. Now there is a difference in premium, and that's why we've sort of got a few of these products, and we'll give you a bit of a look at them. We've got a few different, we thought we'd grab some kilos because it's probably the easiest one to do comparisons with. So we've obviously got this AG bar, which is just a generic cheap silver bar that you can get, and then obviously the Perth Mint and a couple of other premium bars here in the Geiger and the Scottsdale. So when we're talking about premiums, brands such as the AG bar we've got here, they'll often have quite a low premium over spot, purely because their costs are actually lower as well. And then the Perth Mint, obviously world-renowned mint, LBMA registered, so they attract a bit more of a premium for the product. Obviously supply and demand goes into that as well, so obviously Perth Mint bars are more demanded than these cheaper generic bars, so therefore the premium is a little bit higher, even for us. The difference with the Perth Mint products that you'll find in Australia is often because of, like if we were to source a Geiger, for instance, the premium is accumulation also of shipping costs and things like that. So having the Perth Mint here in Oz means that the premium on the Perth Mint products to the retailers such as ourselves is quite a bit lower, whereas when you start sourcing products from overseas, the shipping costs and the import charges and things like that all add into that premium. That's why you'll often find international products can be quite a bit more expensive than locally produced ones. So with the kilos, obviously you have your cheap generic stuff, probably at your cheapest option, and then just purely because we're in Perth, or in Australia even for that matter, the Perth Mint products sort of seem to slip in just behind those. Anywhere else in the world, they'd probably be further up in this line of costs. And then, we have products such as this stacker from the Scottsdale Mint and the Geiger. Now, supply and demand does play a little bit in it, but also manufacturing costs. So these are minted bars, the Scottsdale being machined in the stacker format and serialized. So those add to the additional costs, and therefore the premium. The other thing that does influence premium, and we've got a couple of examples here in the 1 ounce ones. So we've got some just a cheap and cheerful 1 ounce round here. Now, obviously that is not a sovereign minted product, so it doesn't have a currency on the back of it, so the cost associated with doing that also adds to the price. So that is sort of going to have the lowest premium cost. Obviously they're an international product, so then that adds to that a little bit. We've also got the Canadian maple leaf here, which just as a point of difference to this wedge tail we've got here, the maple leaves come raw in a tube. They're mass produced, the design never changes, so the cost recovery, the fixed cost recovery for the mint to produce that product is quite a bit lower per coin because they produce millions of them, and they're also not encapsulated, whereas this Perth mint wedge tail is an encapsulated product, so that obviously adds to the premium again. The design changes every year, it's a limited vintage, so the recovery costs on the fixed costs of running this product is going to be a little bit higher per coin as opposed to something that's mass produced, such as the rue or the maple or anything like that. And then that it adds to the premium. Now the other thing with coins and rounds, I suppose it's probably no different, is just got some of the 1/10s here. Now these, the easiest way I've heard it described is if you were going to the shop to buy a carton of milk and you bought a 1 litre bottle of milk, the cost is obviously per litre is going to be much higher than buying, say, a 3 litre bottle of milk. So the cost to make one of these coins, even though it's a 1/10 ounce, isn't all that dissimilar from making a 1 ounce. So the premium percentage wise on those products is significantly higher, but as a dollar value, like a numerical value, the premium on these products is actually a little bit lower. Now, same across the board here a little bit. If you use the same analogy, you can sort of go, well, you can walk into Coles today and there's 6-7 brands of milk in there that you can buy. Now, they're all got different prices, and obviously these generic type products, like whether it's in the rounds or the kilo bars, is probably not too dissimilar to like a Coles or a Woolies brand for those who are in Australia. Like it's the same thing, but it's all the other things that go with it. So whereas like a Perth mint might be more like a Browns or something similar because it's higher level of quality control, additional costs that go into it to make it that more premium product, and there's a brand recognition behind it as well. So just keeping in mind when you're buying silver and I suppose what you're looking to get out of it. If you want best bang for buck, obviously you go for the lowest premium products. Now this goes back to all the other videos where we spoke about potential premium growth and things like that. The lower the premium in the first place, as a rule of thumb, not financial advice, is likely meaning the lowest potential growth later on in the piece. So products where you pay a higher premium up front, like the wedge tail or other products like that, you're likely to see a higher premium growth in the long run. So it's a bit of pick your poison a little bit. Like the cheap and cheerful brands are great, especially if you're one of those people who believe silver is silver. You want to get that premium down as low as you can, but it is nice to have some of these more premium products. They're nice to look at, obviously, but also some of the recognisability of some of these bigger mints. Also, as you move up in that premium, one of the other things associated with the additional cost is security features. So as everyone probably knows, the Perth Mint, the Royal Canadian Mint, the Royal Mint in the UK, they all have fantastic security features inbuilt to their coins, and that comes at a cost, and that adds to that premium over spot that you'll likely see when you're looking to buy products. So just as a sort of rough run up there, that if you're going for bulk weight, probably go for the lowest premium possible. If you want something a little bit collectible, especially in smaller sizes, then by all means you can look to see some higher premiums. Whereas somewhere in the middle, I feel is probably a nice spot to be. Like I like the Perth Mint products, and because we're in Australia, obviously you can get like a reduced premium on those. So that's my recommendation. again, not financial advice, but yeah, I hope that sort of covers off on most of the bits and pieces or any questions people might have about premiums. Obviously, you know, the further you get away from the mint, each person has to make a margin on their products as they go through. So, you know, if you're buying German products in Australia or Australian products in Germany, the premium, there's more hands it has to go through, and therefore the premium slowly increases as it moves through those hands. So I hope that sort of covers off on everything. Please like, share, subscribe to the channel. We'll have more videos like this coming out every week. If you've got anything you might want us to discuss or you might want to know a little bit more about, feel free to leave us a comment or a suggestion on a video you might like to see. We always appreciate the feedback, and yeah, we'll see you all next time.